This is a tournament series I've been really excited to get out there. This was an event held in Seattle, Washington, by hosted by the Emerald City Trolls, which is an old school Magic group up in that area, and it is themed around Mortal Kombat. It uses custom avatars. You should be able to see those on screen here. Kano at the bottom of the screen, played by Gage, basically gives the avatar a free grapple shot ability on itself with a tap. And Reptile at the top of the screen there can do a couple of things. It can shoot a projectile and then kind of pull the target in like Pudge Butcher and then strike it. Has a power of 2 native on the avatar. And then it can also just shoot a projectile and then tap it. If it's a, I think if it's a minion, or no, it taps it taps the unit regardless, and then if it's a minion, it doesn't untap on the next turn. So it gives you kind of like a freeze ability there. This tournament was just so cool. It was kind of, I think, what Sorcery really excels at, and what the Sorcery community really excels at, is just like coming together, collaborating, having fun. And this wasn't like a huge tournament. It wasn't like a competitive tournament. There weren't prizes on the line, or big prizes on the line. But everybody kind of got this like free set of custom avatars that were only used for this event, and just kind of got to have some fun. It was held at Holy Mountain Brewing in Seattle, so a local brewery. They had a ton of table space there, and were gracious to kind of allow us to host and have our event there. So the concept, I think, with kind of the Mortal Kombat themed custom avatars, is that like all the avatars are more or less combat focused avatars, and it was kind of designed to like kind of, you know, like get your avatar kind of engaged, using its ability more for combat in these games, and then also as a result, like some of the games can be fairly quick. Kano was a pretty popular avatar just because Kano is pretty scary. Getting a free grapple shot just built into the card with a starting power of 3 on the avatar itself is just incredibly strong. The avatar mechanic designs, again, like, you know, like they were pretty, I want to say they were pretty flavor forward here, and you know, they did their best to come up with you know, some balancing when they designed it, but I don't think that was kind of at the forefront of thought when they made the custom cards. It wasn't. I mean, like this isn't a product that is being released. It doesn't have to be like strenuously play tested. Again, it was just a really neat. It was a really neat event, and just really fun to get to have like some relaxed games and play with these like these weird weird avatars. A lot of people, I believe, also just kind of took existing decks and just swapped out the avatar for an existing deck that they had, and threw it in there. And I think that, you know, talking with some of the guys, that was kind of the vibe that they were going with. They didn't expect people to necessarily be min-maxing their decks around the avatars, like specifically. They expected more people to be just pretty casual about it and just say like, well, like I have this deck and it works, and I'll just like slot in an interesting avatar and we'll see what happens. That sort of thing. Gage getting a pretty aggressive start here. Michael, I think, like yeah, no, Gage, taking back that play with the Earl there. I don't think he really thought that one through on his last turn. He pushed the Earl with Wuthering Heights to the bonfire. However, Michael has a root spider out that is currently sitting under his lesser blood demon, and on Michael's turn here, if the Earl was still on the bonfire, he could just move that spider back under bonfire to disable it, and then it also denies Gage the entry point that he would need with the lesser blood demon if he wanted to attack in. With this positioning spread with Gage, it still gives him an opening because Wuthering Heights can fly the Earl diagonally all the way back to that back site there. So it gives Gage a little bit more utility, and it doesn't kind of lock his board state with the current conditions that the board has developed with. So there you see the Wuthering Heights there pushing forward, so the root spider can't get to him. Choosing to desecrate. Desecrate will strike the site for, I think, Earl's 3, so three points, and then he's going to attack. And I think Earl is also evil, so +1 power on the desecrated site, so that's going to be 7 points total on the attack this turn. Let's see, Michael beginning his turn here. Looks like he's going to tap for a site. That'll bring him up to 4 mana in his mana pool. Four mana for a Hillock Basilisk to disable the Earl that it shares a site with. So pretty reactive solution there to the Earl. It doesn't completely solve the problem, but it does buy him a little bit more time to kind of come up with a better solution to figure out what he's going to do there. The lesser blood demon actually kind of causing a problem for Gage at the moment, because it's almost acting as a projectile screener for his own avatar. Again, his avatar has that ability where it can just tap and essentially use a grapple shot ability, so shoot a projectile, and then get pulled towards whatever it hits, and then strike it. However, the first unit that the projectile would hit is going to be the lesser blood demon, despite being disabled in front of him. So he can't really use that ability without removing his own piece. I mean, he could do that. He could do that just to take a step forward, but really there's no benefit to that, because he could also just take a step forward without having to kill his piece. He could set himself into position to do a grapple on his next turn here by just moving forward with Kano. And then when he taps to shoot the projectile, the way the projectile rules work in the game is that you could choose. You could choose to ignore your first. You could choose to ignore your first. The first friendly unit on the origin site that it shares. An interesting play from Gage. Instead, he's choosing to activate Kano's ability to remove his own blood demon just to kind of get it out of the way, and then playing a grapple shot from hand to propel himself forward there. Removing the Hillock Basilisk with the strike for 3 from Kano, which then frees the Earl to attack it for another 4 points of damage. Michael kind of in a tough position here. Gage also getting that ring out. Michael with an answer on the ring there with a Shatter Strike. getting a little bit of damage in on Kano, and then removing the ring, and then kind of just slowly marching the root spider back so it can maybe get back into the action here. Michael's had a lot of great answers. A lot of great answers he's been able to play this game. Unfortunately, I think he's just been like a little too slow or one step behind on board development for the game. So he's got a lot of like controlling pieces here, but he doesn't have he hasn't been able to maintain full control the way that he's needed to. Gage firing a magic missile onto him there for another 3 points of damage. Michael's life total dwindling down to 3 here. He's in a really bad position unless he has a blocker up his sleeve here. He is likely going to go to door. He's likely going to go to door when he passes turn. Moving Root Spider back, getting to disable the Earl again. Tapping for an Infusion Factory, which is an interesting card. I don't know if it sees like a ton of play, but again, I think it was maybe like a fun card that might have snuck in to some of these decks, because a lot of like I said, a lot of these Mortal Kombat custom avatars are kind of combat focused, and so there were a lot of artifacts swirling around in the decks. I think people felt a little more free to be able to kind of do more Voltron fun type of deck building ideas to kind of load up your avatar with a bunch of artifacts that, you know, pump up its power or give it abilities. And then I think the idea behind the Infusion Factory is that it also just like allows you those artifacts to become minions if you need them to. Gage bringing Michael to the door here, and then getting a Stygian Archer out. It's going to be very difficult for Michael to stabilize and rock back here, especially just because of the nature of the Kano avatar, its ability, its power, and also just the innate fatality abilities that were given to every avatar in this Mortal Kombat series. So I think I showed it at the beginning of the screen, at the beginning of this video, but every avatar also has a flip ability where you can flip it over, and there's a fatality ability that says tap, take a step, and then strike. Then strike a unit. Strike a unit on door, maybe. I don't remember the exact wording. But it basically gives every avatar a built-in ability to have a finisher. So there goes the game. Gage managing to get that final strike in on death's door there, and then just Michael just not being able to come up with some blockers or get away in time. Fun game to watch. Michael just like I said, a little bit too far behind on board presence, despite having a ton of answers throughout that game. Like I said, like this was such a fun custom event, and it, you know, like all the avatars may not be like perfectly balanced mechanic wise, but I think nobody took it too seriously, and we were just there to have fun, and it was a really great time. Thank you so much to the Emerald City Trolls for hosting it. I believe Sean was Sean was the Emerald City Troll member who kind of orchestrated the whole event, maybe came up with the idea, executed it. It was just a real pleasure to be able to make the trip up, for it. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll move on to the next game in this series.